Alright, so now I'm going to talk about the origins of fascism. Mussolini coined the term fascism in 1919. He had been a communist but changed his opinion in the wake of World War One. And the word fascism comes from the Italian word fascio, meaning a bundle or group, and is considered a term for a militant brotherhood. According to the history department of King's College, the word fasces means an axe tightly bound with sticks, which becomes a symbol of the fascist movement. And I'm going to talk to you about a little bit about Mussolini, and I'm going to show you the picture of the symbol. Alright, so this is the fascism logo, as you can see. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about Benito Mussolini. He was an Italian political leader who became fascist dictator to Italy from 1925 to 1945, a lot. Originally a revolutionary socialist, he forget the paramilitary fascist movement in 1919 and became prime minister in 1922, like I said before. Called the leader by countrymen or simply Mussolini, he allied himself with Adolf Hitler during World War II. Mussolini was executed by firing squad shortly after the German surrender in Italy in 1945. Like, everybody who's bad has to die. Mussolini's 1919 fascism mixed extreme nationalistic expansion with social programs like women's suffrage and workers' power. Fascist leaders quickly moderate their message, allied with conservatives and existing governments and gaining power. Fascist movements appear in other European countries that were struggling after World War One or nervous about socialism. That happened a lot in that time. According to the American Historical Association in Italy in 1922, a strong armed squad who were financed by industrialists fought socialist farmer organizations, conducted raids on socialist newspaper, and occupied socialist-led towns. They threatened to march on Rome in 1922. The government tried to placate Mussolini by naming him prime minister, but in 1925, like I said, he established himself as a dictator, and what followed was violent suppression of dissent, the deification of Mussolini, violent expansions into Ethiopia, Albania, and other countries, and in 1939, alliance with Nazi Germany and participation in World War II, like I said before, with Adolf Hitler. European fascist ideas inspired regiments through Latin America, including in Bolivia and Argentina. These countries also had very difficult times during the Depression, and ordinary middle-class parties operating parliamentary system were notably unsuccessful in that time. A major event that greatly influenced the development of fascism was the October Revolution of 1917, in which Bolshevik communists led by Vladimir Lenin seized power in Russia. The revolution in Russia gave rise to a fear of communism among the elites and among society at large in several European countries, and fascist movements gained support by presenting themselves as a radical anti-communist political force. Alright, so a quick summary of the origins of fascism. Fascism started mainly after the World War One and was directly by Mussolini, who used to be a socialist, but then he turned the tables on and he was against socialism and communism, and he created around the world for a very long period of time a fear among socialism, and this fear was mainly in the elites and the rich people, and didn't end with his death. But of course, nowadays you cannot see it like a lot of people who really believe in fascism. And yeah, so now my classmates are going to talk about the characteristic about fascism.